Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Andre here, Zenmov.com. Thanks for tuning in and Happy New Year. It's 2022 and guys, it's over a year since I published my last 1/6 review. I mean, I'm still into collecting 1/6, but as you've probably saw, a lot of other huge reviewers are out there which are let's say more efficient, more effective in putting out reviews, but I'm still loving it. So here we go. What we have today is the Hot Toys Endgame Iron Man Mark 85 Battle Damaged, which took ages to release. I checked the movie date, which was April 2019, actually pre-pandemic. Can't believe how it was back then. I mean, I think I was in an IMAX theater with 3D, without masks, without anything in terms of virus related stuff. It was really a relaxed life back then, to be honest. And yeah, Hot Toys took also a bit of time to actually get this figure to us. I mean, to be honest, it kind of grew on me in the past few days. But the first impression, I was kind of okay, so, but the more I looked at it and the more I also compared it now for this review with the movie footage, I think it's really a solid release. So I start off with the movie authenticity section where I compare it with some movie footage. And then I will do some comparisons with some other figures and head sculpts. Unfortunately, I don't have the re-released Mark 85 clean head sculpt. I would really love to get that. If anyone has a clue where to get this one, this replacement program head sculpt, please let me know. It seems to be impossible to get it. Yeah. Alright, let's get started. Let's have a quick look at the box art. So it has really this metallic shine to it, which I really dig. Then you have this shadowy figure of Tony Stark in the center. We're having the MMS543 and it's the 33rd diecast figure, special edition version, which means you receive the nano shield, you will see in a second. And here on the sides I definitely dig the kind of montage of different Iron Man pictures. So it fits perfectly the tone of all these Endgame figures and it's perfectly nice. Alright, here's the figure out of the box. I mounted the nano shield, the special edition accessory, directly to present it to you. It's kind of a huge piece, but in hand it's really flimsy and kind of cheap. But I can imagine it could kind of look cool if you use it for specific photo montage or something like that, and adding some special effects to it. But yeah, it's also quite large. So let's go top to bottom in terms of the accessories. So the volume of accessories is quite fine, I would say, especially if you already have the clean Endgame 85. This will be a perfect addition expansion, and I think Hot Toys was also a bit cheeky because, for example, this part here, or also the nano shield, or here the nano saber, this should actually be included with the clean edition of the Mark 85. But yeah, that's how they do business, and I'm perfectly okay with this because they would never have released the battle damage look and the clean look in one figure. Now, definitely unique to this set are the Infinity Gauntlets for Tony. Here the iconic snapping pose, perfectly recreated. You have also a replacement forearm, which has the LED directly at the top. Some more Infinity styled gauntlets. This is the pre-post relaxed hand, and here is the articulated hand. Sweet. And of course you have some, let's say, more clean looking without the Infinity Gauntlet look. Here for the arc reactor firing pose, and the same then happens of course on the left hands. Here you don't have the Infinity Gauntlet, but here just the normal looking gauntlets, but nicely painted and sculpted. Then they also threw in the lobster guns or rifles. We already got one of these, but in the movie he actually used two of these, so perfectly fine. Now for the cornerstone of this release, the new Robert Downey Jr. Battle Damaged Endgame head sculpt. I was a bit unsure first when I saw the blogger photos, but now in hand I'm perfectly fine with it. Still, I think the hair paint is a bit too bright. It looks almost really golden in harsh lighting, but the paint application on the skin, the battle damage with the blood effects, the smoke, and everything going on this, let's say, complex paint application is really, really good. I will show you more details in the comparison section. So the nano shield, actually there's one positive I think with this accessory, which is the actual mechanic how it's being attached. It's so easy and simple. You have this circular shape with some padding in it, that's it. Quite easy. If I compare this to the mostly complicated mechanics for, let's say, the Captain America shields, this is perfect, if you ask me. Now, let's have a quick look at the base. So the base, I think it's okay. It's a rocky style stone base, perfectly fine if you want to pose it then with the snap final pose of Tony. And overall, yeah, I mean, the pole is just too large probably for that pose, but you can of course remove it. That's also what I will do when I then finally pose Tony in my collection. Yeah. Alright, let's continue to movie authenticity. So first scene I will show you is the nano shield scene, which is kind of in the mid part of the movie. And after that I probably put the shield back into the box, but here as a quick comparison, I unfortunately don't have Hawkeye or Ronin. I was never a big fan of the black gold look, so I used Thor and Black Widow. And first thing came to my mind is this also should have been a clean version accessory, because as you can see you have the battle damage look of this version of the figure, but in the movie we have the clean look. So I think it was just again a business strategy of Hot Toys that we have people that want to have the full complete set. They actually need to buy both figures, which probably most of the Iron Man collectors would have done anyway. But here, as you can see, that's kind of the look that you can go for. Probably not a lot of people will do that, but yeah, I think the shield more or less looks how it should. So next up we have the scene with the nano saber. Technically this is definitely a different weapon than compared to the Infinity War version of the saber, because in Infinity War he used a vibranium saber, where this is an energy based weapon. So definitely nice that Hot Toys was able to recreate and thought to that, because as you can see it has this translucent part, and I definitely prefer this version over the Infinity War version, which was just, let's say, a bit flat painted. What they have not provided is a dedicated hand sculpt, so you need to use the articulated ones, which don't work if you ask me. Of course you can kind of squeeze it in, but it's kind of unusual that Hot Toys does not provide a dedicated hand sculpt. But yeah, overall I'm quite okay. Definitely also this weapon should have belonged to the clean version of the figure and not to the battle damaged one, because as you can see in the movie scene, I think this was kind of the first kind of attack move of Iron Man against Thanos in the pre-end battle before they assembled all the Avengers. Then for another micro moment in the movie he uses these lobster claw rifles guns. I think they look kind of cool, definitely more an Infinity War Mark 50 vibe to it, but they also fit quite nice to the Endgame version of the suit. Nice light up function. You got two of these of course, where on Infinity War you only had one, if I'm not mistaken. Then let's talk about battle damage recreation, because essentially it's also part of the movie authenticity. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of footage by Tony except for the front armor in the final scenes and last moments of Tony's life, basically. And I think for that, the front armor is kind of nice. It's not perfect, but I think in general, it's a nice achievement by Hot Toys. I loved the merger between the cherry red gloss areas and the battle damaged areas. Some of the battle damage effects are really nice. As you can see, you also see the nano web beneath it, kind of shimmering through, and I think overall kind of cool. Two areas where there's a big disappointment by the collectors is first the helmet. It's almost clean, as you can see. You have here on the top line some scratches, but mainly the front is fully clean, so it's almost identical to the clean version, I'm sure. And the other thing is the backside of the figure, and as you can see, it's fully clean, so no battle damage at all. Maybe some streaks here and there on the triceps armor, but I'm pretty sure this is identical to the clean version and kind of a cheap move by Hot Toys. The leg armor, on the other hand, here, this is also battle damaged. Quite nice. All the battle damage parts are plastic, of course, but still I'm kind of liking the overall look. Small detail, the collar neck area is also battle damaged, as you can see. There's no other replacement neck piece, it's only this one, and it's fully integrated. So you can remove the chest armor, and then it looks like this, also fully clean, so nothing specially done on these parts, even though the scratches here on the front would have been major and definitely would have an effect on the lower parts of the armor, but it is what it is. Alright, here's the head sculpt of Robert Downey Jr. again. As I said, I think the paint application, the battle damage effect is really good, especially compared to the movie scenes. I think the blood spots and everything is really on the proper location. The expression on the face, let's have a quick look when we switch the lights a bit. Let's dim down this area a bit. I think it really comes to life when you light it a bit differently. Especially it takes off a bit of the brightness of the hair paint application. But in general, I definitely like it. The expression is directly a moment before he does the snap, because then he switches into, let's say, the more aggressive stage, which also would have been nice. But I think it was a wise move to Hot Toys to go for this, let's say, more desperate look in the moment where he actually recognizes, okay, this is now my moment to change for the good of the world. So perfectly fine with the expression and how Hot Toys created it. So let's start breaking down the final scene where Tony gets the Infinity Gauntlet by Thanos, or copies it over. The first thing that I want to highlight is that this version of the Infinity Gauntlet has the fully light up stones, and here all the stones light up, where on the other two hands, especially the green one, doesn't light up at all. What I really like is this area here where the energy is flowing kind of into the elbow area, and in the film actually this energy goes upwards into these two cuts on the chest plate, chest armor. It would have been an amazing effect if Hot Toys would have added the LEDs beneath the chest armor to fill out this area as well, maybe even with a flickering effect. Yeah, but other than that, I definitely like the style and design of the Infinity Gauntlet as they have recreated it here. And now let's switch to the famous pose with the snapping finger. Alright, final pose for movie authenticity, the snapping finger pose. Tony's final moments, perfectly captured with the amazing head sculpt, the battle damage, and of course the snapping finger sculpt. And look at this nice light up effect on the Infinity Gauntlet. Sweet, really good. So to end movie authenticity, a small but fine detail. If you have a look at the dying scene of Tony with Pepper, you will see on his chest plate this triangular shaped pattern, which actually belongs to an essential part of the nanosuit for the Mark 85. It's not present on the Mark 50, and you will also see it in the nano shield scene. So it's kind of not belonging to the actual battle damage. I think it's essentially a part of the suit design, and this would be like a next level improvement for Hot Toys or any other company, Queen Studios, you name it. it's probably cost millions to get into this fine detail level, and you would need probably amazing sculpting and paint surface detailing technology, but it would be super cool. Let's see what the customizers come up with. Alright, head sculpt comparison time. So I brought in Time Suit Tony, Battle Damaged Endgame 85, Clean 85, infamously also called Tony Stank head sculpt, and here on the right side, this was actually my try in terms of getting a re-release head sculpt. This is a recast of the Hot Toys 85 Clean re-release. I think the sculpt is pretty nice. I mean, it's perfectly recast as thing, but the paint job is just not properly applied. It's too dark. It's definitely not as bright as you would have expected from the original one, but still a nice try. It costs about 20 bucks. You can find it on eBay. I think it's called TT Toys, but the pictures are definitely misleading because they show the original head sculpt, and if you have a look at it right now and compare the promo shot to this one, it's personally, I think, far off in terms of the paint application. But going back to the Hot Toys original sculpts. So, Time Suit Tony, really good. The facial hair is a bit different. As you can see, the beard is kind of continuing here, and that's even a bit more prominent on the re-release sculpt. In terms of the hair color, I still think that the Tony Stank head sculpt is probably one of the better ones, and I still think it's too bright. The color that they applied for the battle damaged one is too bright, too golden, so maybe a bit toned down there would have been helpful. So my real hope is to somehow get this original re-release sculpt for the Clean Mark 85. I have no idea. I searched so many times on eBay. There were some archived sold ones, but they pop up every other month, and they of course go for a huge amount of money. In terms of the movie authenticity, this one is definitely the winner. The Robert Downey Jr. likeness is spot on. I don't like the hairpiece, kind of, especially compared to the Time Suit version or even the Tony Stank version. I think the hair sculpt itself is just a bit too tightly sculpted. It would have been nice to have a bit more separation between the strains. And for that, I think the re-release of the Clean version is a lot better. So I can only imagine that the hair piece would be similar like this one, just painted in a different color. So you're probably wondering now how these other head sculpts look on the suit. The Hot Toys ones perfectly match in terms of the neck plug. So this is the Time Suit Tony. Looks pretty nice, I would say. Then we have Tony Stank. It's okay. I kind of, in some areas it's pretty cool. It's really this dried out, energy-less kind of Tony from the beginning of the movie. And here we have the TT Toys. This one doesn't fit properly there, you need a bit of blue tack, but I must imagine this would be like the head sculpt, at least from sculpting point of view, that you would receive from the re-release of the 85. Then here we have the comparison with the Clean Mark 85 on the left side. Obviously front is vastly different, except the helmet, there's almost identical, and then this continues here on the back side. So just ignore the cables, these are from the fusion reactors, but if you look at this is completely identical. Still, as a completionist, I think you need to have anyway both suits, but it would have been great to have a bit more differences. Then when you add in a bit of ambient light, it even pops more. Just amazing how they recreated this cool Infinity Gauntlet, and then together with the combination of the head sculpt and battle damage effect. It's just a magnificent figure. So let's go for the final shot. I will bring in Thanos. Alright, final shot and conclusion. Here we have Thanos himself. This is the battle damaged version, of course, with another amazing head sculpt. I never did a video review, but let's have a look at this one. What an emotional expression. So sweet. So Tony snapping his finger. Thanos totally clueless what's happening, what's going on. So these two bad boys definitely need a bit more shelf space than usual. So in your collection I would probably push Thanos back another 5 to 10 inches and then it will be nice and properly displayed. This way they're just a bit too close to each other. I hope you enjoyed this video review of the latest Hot Toys Endgame Iron Man suit. And see you soon on the tube. Have a nice day. Bye guys.